Hello. Welcome to Ninja Pulls and the final PTS patch note review. We didn't do it every week because some of them were a little bit, lacking in detail, a little bit brief. This is Khan here. I am joined by Maya as usual. Hello, Maya.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest. It's Rich Lambert. No, it's Egbert.
Jeez. Stakes are high.
And hey everyone, hey Joker, and hello Mitchell. Welcome in.
Yeah, welcome guys.
Hello.
Okay, so we might have a couple of stragglers coming in as the review gets underway, but we're just going to go. And we're just going to go a little bit slowly at the beginning, but there's no point hanging around, is there? Maya is reviewing chat, so feel free to chime in. Please don't do that thing. Skinny always has the no spoilers, please, on these runs. A lot of people do that. If you have already read them, just let us get there. They're not terribly long. I think last week's were a little bit longer, but there is some meat on the bone here, so let's get going.
Toy Gun, Ella Delian. Hello.
ESO v10.0.4 is the final PTS patch before Gold Road. Just a reminder to you guys. And Update 42 launch, which is on June 3rd for PC and Mac. Console usually a couple of weeks later, a few weeks later. In this patch, we focused on bug fixes affecting scribing and content in Westweek, as you'd expect. In addition to some fixes and tweaks for a few item sets, other combat effects. Note that with today's patch, in order to test proper access, only those who have pre-purchased Gold Road chapter will have access to its content. Templates are still available for those who do not have access and wish to continue testing. Size of the patch is blah, blah, blah. So let's get going. Combat and abilities fixed an issue where some effects were reducing damage taken in an additive manner rather than a multiplicative manner. We're not going to get into that fairly nerdy stuff, but essentially it is an input in the equation is mislabeled, right? So it doesn't. It comes up. It performs unexpectedly, either a little too strong, a little too weak. These don't tend to be game breaking unless there are a lot of them, but you can see what they are, creating some situations where 100% damage mitigation was achievable. So I guess that's that's no good. Oh, okay. So actually, these are things I didn't know about. I didn't realize that the heavy armor martial damage taken reduction was busted. I wonder if anyone. I mean, somebody must have known. But there we go. So these are passives and CPs and no CPs.
Also a hard one to figure out that it's broken.
Yeah, I guess someone has to actually run the numbers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it may be because there was some of this last week and I think in the week before as well. So they may have found one culprit and then gone, hang on a minute. If that's wrong, then we've probably done this, and this wrong as well.
Right.
Because I imagine there's a lot of copy pasting of code going on when sets have effects that are procced in similar ways. Anyway, crafted sets. Highland Sentinel. This set now only works where you have all 5 pieces of the set equipped active. Unequipping the set removes all stacks of sentinels. Well, that's clearly that's how it should have worked in the first place, but I guess somebody figured out this is the one which gives you an ungodly amount of critical chance. Like it's stronger than advancing your CUDA.
Interesting.
But it has to stack up more times. And the stacks are broken if you move. So kind of a dummy humpers set, really. Mythic items. The Saint and the Seducer fixed an issue where this set could passively remove enemies from stealth. Yeah, you don't want that. One of the new mythics, obviously. PvP, Dark Convergence fixed an issue where some of the visuals were not removed. Okay. Slivers of the Null Archer, that's the light set, I believe. Increased the damage by around... Oh, no. This is the stamina one. Back. Verify that. Slivers of the Null Archer. Stamina set. I mean medium set. So crit chance, and that was the one where you get these crystals that shoot at the enemies you're damaging. And the immediate thing that people notice is the proc is really good. Even before this buff, it was really good. Problem was, it will go to a random target. Like if you're in a if you're doing a Barse hard mode, for example, I guess it doesn't matter that much. You're focusing everything more or less equally. But it goes to crystals launch are the last enemy you damaged. So yeah, it's sort of an auto-firing bound armaments type deal. So just a proc that goes off not constantly, but pretty regularly. And yeah, it's direct damage, and usually a lot of procs are dots, aren't they? This is pretty nice. It will work in dungeons, and if you're only on one target, fantastic. But as soon as you have multiple, and some of them don't matter that much, like you kind of don't, you just want them to take incidental damage, then you're losing a chunk of boss damage and gaining potentially not very much. So that's the logic. And they're saying to ensure it is more in line with other sets with similar restrictions and functionality requirements. I guess that's an acknowledgement of that. Yeah, although the proc is already strong enough, the conditions of it were a little bit wonky, and we didn't want to change that because, frankly, there are already enough sets which work reliably on a single target or on a defined area. So yeah, this is but it can still hit random targets that you might not want to hit. So it doesn't kind of, the set was by no means in the trash, but this doesn't remove it from wherever it was. It just means that you have to sort of, you look at it on the shelf and think, it added damage is juicy though, because that's a huge increase. If you think about Pillar of Nirn, Aegis Caller, Reliquend, these proc sets that deal pretty, big damage. It was pretty much in line with Pillar of Nirn, I think. So 40% buff? Yikes. Anyway, scribing.
Could this replace Reliquin?
No.
Or all right.
No, because Reliquin is the single target set, and if it's a situation where you would want Reliquin, you would only use this if there was literally one target.
Right.
As soon as there is even a single ad, probably don't want it anymore. And so it's pretty forgiving. You gain the stack for Sliver for 10 seconds. It's just a quick reminder. I guess people haven't looked at this set since week 1. You can only gain one stack every half a second, so you can get to max stacks very fast. But then you can't do it again. So it's like a 6.5 second cooldown, a minimum.
Oh, the last enemy you've damaged, which is
that's the key bit.
Wonky. Yeah.
Stacks are consumed. The crystals launch at the last enemy you damaged. So something wanders into your AoE, and the crystals are like, yay!
Right. Like the Warden Bear or something.
Yes. Yeah. Anyway, so there we go. That's that. Fixed a crash that could occur when attempting to search for grimoires in the scribing UI or skills UI. Fixed an issue where the basins would sometimes not fill up after unlocking or completing. I guess that's a typo there. Updated the Luminary Door wing animations. Yeah, this is all, if you don't know what these are, this is all stuff in the scribing area. The
Luminarium.
Scholarium.
Why did I say Luminarium? What is that?
You're thinking of Mistress Luminara from Star Wars, aren't you?
Somewhere with a lot of lights.
Achievements. We couldn't obtain quite the library achievement.
What is that?
Vulnerability affix script incorrectly appearing into achievements and right, okay. Requirements for the discounted versions of Leech. We can come back to these if we want. Okay, yeah, so these are just little errors. Grimoires. Soul Burst. We all know what this is. Fix an issue where Anchorite's potency would grant ultimate to only one ally. So this is where you consume a soul gem and grant ultimate to yourself and allies, I guess. Oh no, just to your allies, sorry. Fix an issue where Anchorite's cruelty did not have the correct cooldown. This script now correctly applies the dot aspect from last week's changes, right? So they fiddled with a few of the, quite a few actually, of the scripts that apply an effect over time, either to allies, to ourselves, or to enemies. And 2 of the big ones were Anchorite's potency and Anchorite's cruelty. These are the ones that consume soul gems in order to do X. Vault. Fix an issue where the character would not take an appropriate amount of fall damage. People are mad about the changes to Vault last week. I think it's a niche enough skill that they can get away with it. But yeah, anyway.
Can
it's
you
kind of a
still
weird
cast that while you're not wearing a bow or something? What was that?
No, that
Wearing
was a mistake on the
Right.
on the preview server that we found. I noticed that you could use all of the weapon scribed abilities regardless of your currently
Right, mhm.
equipped weapon, even with no weapon at all. You could use all of them.
That's cool. Like
Yeah, and I tapped
conjuring wall of
Eggman on the shoulder.
elements.
Yeah, it's like, you shouldn't be able to do that. Pretty sure. But yeah, that's has indeed been fixed. Even before PTS, I should say. Scripts. Fixed an issue where you could previously purchase excess copies of the class mastery script on a character who already knew it. I don't know if that is the thing that's been talked about where you could just bank stuff and give it to other characters. It sounds like a neighboring issue, possibly. Nightblade class mastery signature script. That is a mouthful. Wow. Nightblade class mastery signature script. A lot of these, the terminology they've gone for is extremely unwieldy, I will say, if you're saying it out loud. Kind of a pain in the ass. Increase the duration of this script's critical chance bonus to 5 seconds 2. Good. It was one of the weaker ones, I thought, and they already buffed it last week. But I think they increased the amount of crit chance and the amount of resources restored. This is the one where I think it gives you resources and or crit chance, basically, depending on how the condition flips in the middle. Quests, updated animation, don't need to worry too much about these, but camera angles on some characters, I noticed actually some of those. Camera angles, yeah. Second era of scribing, fixed issues with maps and quests.
Sorry, what is that called? What was that kind? I did not get that first time. I'm not sure what. I'm guessing it might be the Nightblade thing, but
The Nightblade thing. Yeah, just let me remind myself how this works.
yeah, Nightblade thing.
Oh fuck. So the actual tooltips aren't here. They're not in last week. Yeah, that was what I was talking about. But yeah, there'll be way more about this now that we are in week 5.
Can he do that with 4 marshmallows in his mouth? So
Nightblade class mastery signature script. Yeah. I mean, I'm not the only one. Loads of people have. I think anyone who's done patch note read-throughs like this, or have made, commentary videos about scribing. Yeah, I think everyone's run into at least one thing, which is like, wow, how do I even say that? Wing of the Indrik. Del boss has now respawned quicker. Okay, I'm guessing it's just that's an issue, like when farming a mythic lead, right? If it's a specific delve boss and there's just a queue, 20 people waiting to kill it, very annoying. Wing of the Griffin. Fixed an issue where Fox Root would not show up if you did other safeguard tasks first. Visibility of Fables. Delve bosses were the same thing. Fixed an issue where the Shadowy Creatia would not be removed from your inventory. I don't want shadowy Creatia in my inventory. Get it off me! Wing of the Dragon wouldn't let you leave if you abandoned the quest. Okay, finale. Fixed issue where falling off the bridge. that's for Maya.
I don't know what you mean.
Where falling off the bridge would sometimes prevent you from continuing the quest. Fixed an issue where you could prematurely activate a ward during this quest, blocking progression.
Well, we've all done that.
There we go. Final audio added to the Gold Road portal video. So
Hey.
Did anyone
Nice.
actually do this?
No.
On PTS, where you
I haven't.
typically what you do is you pick a template, so you get a max level character with all the coffers and stuff. But if you want to, for some reason, you can go through character creation and make a level 1 character, and then do the tutorial, and then head to Gold Road. I didn't actually do that, but Maya always likes looking at these intro videos, they're really cool. When they added them to the game, they make even the old base game zones look absolutely fantastically exciting and dramatic stories that you want to replay and places you really want to visit. It's a very effective that way. The sweeping cameras like shooting through the streets and all the action that's choreographed around them. So they're very cool little videos. And I guess this one didn't have a proper voiceover. It may have had the robot. This region is in great peril. That kind of thing.
Hey, welcome back. Yeah.
So that's a fun one. But yeah, I didn't actually see it. So that is a reminder, Maya. Let's do that this week. Let's make a character on the Isle of Balfiera and do that. Do the opening video. So here we go. Trial.
The Lucent Citadel.
What's a trial?
Master Slasher, creeping dark ability, will no longer drain resources quite as heavily when initially cast. I have noticed that. You're like, I can't do shit.
Hey,
Who?
Zim.
Darkcaster Slasher's
Oh, no, no, no,
creeping
no, no.
dark ability. What? Jeez.
The Expedited Excursion and Arcane Stabilizer achievements now require the trial to complete within 30 minutes. Don't know what they were at before. Maybe they were a bit generous, I don't know. And I've no way to check now. All books are now... Okay. Updated the audio throughout the trial. Okay, interesting. I never noticed any audio issues.
It could have been that some of the music was still from previous DLC.
Yeah, could very well be. And I would have had the music switched off, most likely. Okay,
like stuff like that could work. It could have been...
exactly, yeah. Sure. Could have been something... Either way, it was something subtle that I didn't even spot.
Mhm.
So this is the final encounter, the last boss. Fix an issue where you were occasionally prevented from using doors. Okay, never saw that. No additional arcane knots will be created when it's deposited in the null arca, I see.
What? That's brilliant.
Defense prisms will no longer trigger detonation immediately after defeat. Okay, I wasn't aware of these issues, though. Conveyance will no longer strike tethered targets. Okay, that makes sense. And Necrotic Barrage will dispel player abilities. The visual effects for the Arcane Knot will now always be removed when your character dies while carrying it. Oh, yeah. That one I have seen. Reduce the duration of Splintered Passage. Yeah, if you got a Splintered Passage, you definitely want to consult your physician.
Oh, jeez.
That's exactly where my mind went, but yeah.
I haven't seen the last boss of the... I haven't seen anything of the trial yet.
Let's go.
So this is all
Let's go now.
words.
This is all words.
Yeah, but that's about it.
Exploration, itemization. Fix some floating and misplaced resource nodes and treasure chests. I actually spotted at least one of those just floating in the air. Hello, Dragonthorn. Monsters and NPCs.
In your own homeland.
Monsters respawn rates. Stranglers now aggressively interact with passers-by. Don't like that. Now fix an issue where a Mirrorplasm respawned continuously at Fort Hastra. That sounds like that. I'm back. Like one of those clowns, the cone-shaped clown toy that you punch it and it just gets back up again.
Oh, right. Mm-hmm.
The in-game equivalent of that. Hello. Miramore Incursion. So these are the world events, dolmens, dragons, Harrow Storms. They're
I've
actually
seen that.
pretty challenging and fun. Adjusted the visual effects for Miramore Incursion, Fractured Remnant. Okay, let's dramatic quests. We don't really know what these are. What? Fix an issue during the fight where Athelia was considered a justice NPC and would award the murder achievement after defeating her. So I'm guessing there is a... Yeah, you can kick Athelia's ass, Moloch Baal style. At some point in the quest, I guess, if she gets out of control. That kind of is a spoiler, holy shit. Laramil now finishes her casting animation before the portal she creates appears. I've always assumed there would be an element of choice. They would mess around with the multiple endings type thing. And we already have those, obviously, in ESO to a degree, but it's always struck me as a thing that the the writers might be itching to do more of. Anyway, some bugs. Log out during the... Okay, yep. Kingdom Tharian's Gambit. Abolisher. Is that a typo? I assume so. Miss Carkenwell now glows in accordance with... See, I don't know when, but I'm sure that this place is where it's one of the Ayleid ruins, obviously in Westweald, and at some point in the Oblivion game, we are sent there. And you know how I know this? Because I have the voice of Sean Bean in my head. You know, like, one does not simply walk into Mordor. It's like, Miss Karkan. You know, he definitely says the name of this place, Miss Karkan, or something like that. It's, you know? Does anyone else remember that?
No.
No, not me. But it's been a while since I've played Oblivion.
I
actually played the story.
You need a priest. It's hard to do a Sean Bean impression without going full Yorkshire, which feels very unkind. Because, you know, he's terrific. But that's sort of what you do, especially if you've watched Sharp, the TV show. Isn't it, Maya?
Yep.
I love you, Teresa. Anyway, enough of that. Lone Recall. Okay, these are just quest things. We don't really know what they are. Like I said, the Ayleid Regent no longer slides across the floor when attacking. Skingrad 6 Adventurers. I actually saw this one. Many paths. Yeah. Some monsters are now vulnerable to Blade of Woe. That's cool. That's cool as hell. So many times I've thought that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, if you can just like Blade of Woe, a humanoid PC.
Whoa, man. Blade of Woe.
Whoa. The missing cohort. Discover the portal anchors group. So you can do stuff with group members.
Yeah.
Now share the...
Oh, baby.
Okay, yeah, we didn't need to do any of that, actually, really. I'm just trying to be fairly complete.
Tales of Tribute, the most important bit.
Yeah, Tales of Tribute stuff. Forest Raid.
Forest Raid, that probably grants, yeah. The one thing that's been lacking in my deck.
Resolving a KO all ability. Alliance War and PvP. BG's group UI would not display all team group members when in a battle. I've never seen that. Adjusted one of the lanterns in the Zarnkaj crest home so it no longer floats. What the hell? How did I miss this? We were running around there for like an hour.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Adjusted the position of one of the carpets in the Linchel Grand Manor. Okay. And overlapping keybinds in the housing. That's okay, yeah, that's... Right, well, let's go back up. So, just a little recap of things that were in previous weeks, things that we were hoping for. We have not had much. We had some, but not much in the way of ascribing rebalance during this PTS.
No.
And I am frankly surprised. I didn't think they would need to do it, but there has been such a clamor from especially people who are testing PvP. People saying it is not necessarily broken. I mean, there are a couple of things which people have said, yeah, this needs to be fixed. And some of it may, in fact, be related to this. That it wasn't scribing per se, it was just allowing you to... I did hear some people talking about 100 damage, 100% damage. But yeah, I think the main complaint that I've heard, and I don't know, but it sounds justified to me, is that it's going to confer a little too much of an advantage just having access to this system in PvP. And maybe it's too large and complicated a knot for Zos to untangle during even a 5-week PTS cycle. I mean, it's 7 weeks, but only 5 where they can actually do testing and changes. After that, now we're locked in. These are the last changes there will be until it goes live. And they typically don't do any major changes from the final PTS patch to the live patch. They do often do small ones, little tweaks here and there, or more bugs that were found and they didn't have time to include. Things like that, yeah, sure. But nothing with significant consequences typically gets changed. I mean, I say that we'll probably find one in every single PTS cycle, but you know what I mean. But they have not done a lot of rebalancing of scribing abilities. It's been mostly the trial, to some degree the trial sets, but even there, not so much. And some of the other new sets that are coming, and a big overhaul. Overhaul is perhaps a bit too strong a word, but a series of tweaks to the way you progress and collect and unlock all the scripts and scribing questline. How you that was made a lot more forgiving, particularly for repeats on secondary characters last week. I was hoping for more of that because, frankly, it didn't look like enough. We have done some further investigating on this, and now that we're done, I guess we can commit ourselves to talking about that a bit more. But as I commented last week, it's difficult to give Zos anything more than anecdotal stuff, unless you can find a very concrete example, because getting a group together to do trials is difficult enough. Yes. Testing PvP, you can really just do duels. You can't go to Cyrodiil and make a ball group, and if you do, there'll be no one for you to fight. So it's not that easy on PTS because the population is so minute compared to the live server. Because people are generally there to do something very specific. So yeah, testing some of these things is tricky. And I hope that the fact that we're not seeing more rebalancing is a reflection of Zos's level of confidence that none is needed. But find out. I'm not quite convinced yet, I must say. And I don't like the look of the grind involved.
Yeah, they did a little bit to address that last week, but not the main issue you were describing. So yeah, we'll see how that. I guess we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I'm still very. It's not a big deal. I don't know why it jumped out at me as something I felt the need to comment on. But do you guys remember the class mastery script?
No.
So you unlock them all at once now. It used to be that you would collect 50 fragments, and you would have to do that on every character. So even if you've already unlocked the Nightblade class mastery script, you'd have to do it again on every Nightblade. And it's a lot. Like, the fragments just drop from things like from writs and dailies and quests, and can't remember if you get them resource nodes, but things like dolmens and
right.
Yeah, things like that. So it was quite onerous to collect 50. But what they've done is they've reduced it. I think they reduced the number. And when you collect one, that's now automatically consumed, and it's account wide. But it means that you can get one on 10 different characters, and then suddenly you've unlocked class mastery for all 7 classes. You might not even have a warden, but you will get the class mastery there. And that seemed completely wrong-headed to me. Do it that way.
Yeah.
Make it more forgiving and maybe unlock it. Yeah, maybe the issue was they couldn't figure out a way or didn't have time to implement a new way to unlock the warden class mastery for all wardens, or to make it account wide. I don't know. They've just made the whole thing account wide, which feels like an oversimplification. Because I wouldn't have minded doing it multiple times. It's just I don't want to have to do an enormous grind 18 or 20 times.
Yeah, 20 times by now, since last year.
Yeah. But there you have it. So that wasn't this week, that's last week. And I was kind of hoping for a follow-up there, but I guess not. They're very unlikely to change something like that after it goes live. Because then you run into the fury of those players who did the grind.
Yeah, for sure.
They have form in this area. I mean, just look at Maelstrom Arena. Those of us who did the grind in Maelstrom Arena and then had to do it all over again for the perfected stuff, and then we got the sticker book. So they kind of have done this before, where they've new people coming into the game have been given a much
Yeah.
better deal than those who were here like a couple of years before. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
I had to do hundreds of hours of grinding, and you're saying now a new person just walks in and gets the thing they need, or whatever.
Hey, come on.
But yeah, it's hard. It's tough to call, but it doesn't feel like a thing that they would be that likely to do. So that's why I'm a little, a little apprehensive that there are no further changes to that grind or the chase. Right, is what they were calling it.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
It might still change. I don't know.
These are the last patch notes. So, yeah.
Right.
like,
yeah.
I mean, obviously, they have once, I remember a few years back, kind of a major change on the day. So, yeah, we might.
Yeah. What was the timing of like the rune carver change?
That was,
was
on
that?
the day as well, but we knew it was coming.
Right.
We knew that was coming. Because they'd said it was not working as intended, so they'd made the change, but it hadn't worked. Basically, there was an error somewhere. Meant it hadn't been correctly implemented. But the set had already been rebalanced on paper, and they sort of warned us as to what it would be. But turns out there was an error in that as well. If you believe, their version of it, that it was only in Scions of Ithelia that Runecarver actually was adjusted to work the way it was always supposed to work, so that it would apply burning pretty regularly. Well, that's why it's so good now on the correct build, of course. But yeah, just a quick reminder then. Some more of this stuff, which was multiplicative rather than additive, which is good. You want these things fixed. Highland Sentinel. That seems insane to me that this wasn't already a thing, but I guess these things slip through the cracks sometimes. So this would mean that you could get the stacks, kill something, like a dummy, for example, and then as long as you didn't move, and you could equip a new set and still retain the 5-piece bonus from the set, and then just carry on dummy humping.
That's so convoluted.
But you know what people are like.
Yeah.
And there would have been some videos of people saying 160k stamina or whatever, and they would show them on the dummy and just edit out the bit where they use this set. And anyone who understands the game would call them on it immediately.
Yeah,
but newer players would be like, "Oh, this
No, I'm just that good.
Yeah, this YouTube is really amazing.
Really this, blah blah."
So yeah, it's kind of crazy that was there. The Saint and the Seducer. That's obviously a bug fix. Dark Convergence and a big buff to Slivers of the Null Arca, which is, I guess to reflect the fact that, like Sul'Zan, it's not that conditional, but it is. It's dependent on the fight being either strictly single target, and it's hard to think of that many fights that are truly single target. I'd say the
Vast plus 0. No, that's not true.
Even then, yeah. But there's nothing in Vast that you kind of don't want to attack. So that one,
yeah.
But even the Serpent, the end of Sanctum Ophidia, even that has at least 2 types of adds that will come in. 3 if you count the totems. So there aren't that many absolute single target fights. But in dungeons, for example, where Reliquien might not be the best, this would be cool, I think. And you don't have as much cleave in dungeons if you just have 2 DDs, especially. Unless they're Arcanists. So yeah. And then a bunch of crashes and bug fixes and quests tweaks. Some updates to this. These aren't... these don't appear to be, them making the hard mode easier or more difficult. These are just... This is polish. Which is reassuring, right? That's what you want to see in week 5.
They hope.
And then it's a bunch more quest stuff, some Tales of Tribute, and that is it. So it is a pretty light week. which again, on the one hand, encouraging. On the other hand, if you're like me and you have a feeling, which may or may not be backed up by much evidence, but a feeling that we're not quite done making scribing a good chase rather than a bad grind. But more on that in the coming weeks. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. I really was expecting a bit more, well, as you say, rebalancing.
It has been an extremely light TS cycle. Week 1, obviously, a ton of stuff because it's week 1. And then week 4, so last week, was the only kind of big update we had since then. Week 2 was pretty light. Week 3 was so light we didn't even bother talking about it. There was almost nothing there. There was one of these things in there regarding the new trial set. And that then led to follow-up issues with additive rather than multiplicative stat changes in week 4 and now in week 5. So that may have been the culprit. That may have been what tipped them off. The loosened echoes set. But yeah, then week 4 contained a load of stuff, and now this. Just some, but not that much. Intriguing.
I don't have much of an
Kamul,
opinion.
That is what Khan was saying. I'm amazed about the lack of changes to scribing skills. You would expect a lot of tweaking based on data.
I will say they I don't know, I wasn't there in the office, but they have no reason to lie about this, and they have all said they tested the living crap out of this system. They simulated it, they play tested it way more than probably anything they've introduced to the game since before launch.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean it's doesn't mean nothing slips through. And as I said, we all have heard people saying this is a little bit too strong here and there. You've seen there have been some slightly hysterical posts on the forums. And again, I feel really bad for Kevin and all the guys who have to filter the stuff that's on the forums, because there's loads of really good stuff there. But there's also a lot of hysteria and just utter nonsense. When I was refreshing this page earlier today, waiting for the patch notes to show, I made the mistake of clicking on some of the big claims. This is what's going to happen, and you just read it, and the very first line is full of, nothing is spelled correctly, and the person who wrote it doesn't have any sense of presenting an argument or expressing themselves with any nuance. It's all end of the world or best thing ever. There's nothing in between. So it's very hard to engage with what the fuck they're talking about or to take them seriously. And I'm not even a developer. I don't even care. I just look at it and think, well, that's a bit of a rubbish forum post. These guys have to actually think, well, this is terribly written. It's badly argued. It's written in the style of like someone having road rage at their keyboard. But is the point they're making correct? And they constantly have to make that judgment. Yeah, that is not an easy job. I don't need to try it to be able to see that. But yeah, I think there is a lot of legitimate concern about scribing being, even if it's just the system in general rather than broken outliers, and I think it's both, frankly, from what I've seen. There are concerns about both. Not so much for PvE, that it's not going to confer a massive advantage. And frankly, if you want to hold the world record for Vadashran Hollows and can't get it anymore because, the top 9 clears are all people using, these scribing combinations, well then that's fine. That's okay. It's okay for the game meta to shift in that regard. But for PvP, it's more of a problem. And, it shouldn't confer an insurmountable advantage. The jury's out, but a lot of people have already raised this as an issue. What do you guys think? More opinions from chat would be very welcome. We're not in a privileged position. We don't have access to any more info than you guys do, really, except to the degree that we've been on PTS a lot, and we have been testing quite a bit, but we've been mostly in the trial.
And with we, you mean you and Maya? Like,
Yeah.
for the
well,
record,
all
I
of them-
haven't delved into PTS much. Well, I've walked through Westfield. That's what I did.
We walked through the whole world. Yeah.
But
Sorry. Go on.
no. But I was just gonna set the record straight. Like, I'm not gonna pretend I've been on PTS a lot and know a lot about the scrying stuff. I was just happy to tag along and see what's up.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at Kamal's comment, that people discover stuff in 5 minutes and nothing gets changed. We have to deal with it for 3 months. Up to a point, yes, but also like they do have it goes through lots of testing. But yeah, I mean, update 35. For those who were around, sometimes they're testing. That it's wrong, some assumption, I guess. But yeah, it did sound different with scribing and how confident and how like no, we tested that. So yeah, it's I'm curious. Obviously, the PTS, the launch of PTS, had nothing to do with scribing. Technically, as in that's not what went wrong, the scribing bit. But yeah, that wasn't great. For DPS, I think the whole point is that it's actually like for DPS, for supports, there might be a lot of really interesting things, but like it's not something, as far as I can tell, and we're gonna do a lot more sort of testing, but it won't be a game changer. If you don't have scribing, you cannot join trial groups.
Yeah, they've been
Right.
I feel it's almost patronizing to ZOS. It's like damning them with faint praise to say they were wise to focus on things that DDs in trials don't typically want. Right? They are mostly utilities and buffs that we'll already have if we're in a half decent trial group. You know what I mean? So, and things that won't add more damage generally. There are ways in which you could use them to add more damage. Certainly, group wide, things are missing. Then, well, this is great. If things are missing from your comp, it's easier than ever to get them. Especially if you're in one of those groups where the raid lead is like, guys, bring your main character. Doesn't matter what the class is. Doesn't matter how nerfed into the ground it is this patch. So long as you play it well enough, we'll have you on board. We've got a lot of groups like that in Ninja Plus. Most of them, in fact. All bar one, I would say. And yeah, then that's great. If you do want to optimize a little bit more, but without asking people to switch, please park your sorcerer and bring an arcanist or whatever it is. Then scribing is a way to do that, potentially. But if you're just on the dummy or optimizing in group, it's not necessarily going to add that much power other than giving you more cleave, more sustain, better utility, things like this. It's all that horizontal power creep rather than... And yeah, I wouldn't even call it power creep. It's that horizontal power that you're now getting access to across the board. One of the pretty compelling arguments against Arcanist being as strong as it is that they simply have access to too much. Be that named buffs or types of damage, or an easy rotation and very high damage, and all of these things. It levels the playing field a bit in that regard, but it's not going to get you more damage in trials, except insofar as supports will be using scribing to buff the ground. I'm oversimplifying, but you get what I mean.
Yeah.
It's not what it's for. It's not for juking your dummy numbers. And they are smart to completely avoid that.
Yeah, agreed.
We've said it many times, but just in case it needed restating in 5, don't worry, guys. This is not a thing. You're not going to have to. The good news is, as well, you can just enjoy the system. You won't have to grind it out. You know what I mean? Like when a trial launches, Dreadsail Reef is a great example. What do we have? We had Coral Riptide, we had Whirl of the Depths, we had Pillages, and Pearlescent Ward. Right? Pearlescent is from...
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We had all of these, and everyone wanted all of them on day 1, week 1. And yeah, we were still enjoying the trial, but the atmosphere was definitely downgraded a little by the fact that people were whispering throughout the trial, "Can I have that? Can I have that chest piece? Can I have that staff?" Just chill. Can we just enjoy ourselves? So that's going to be the nice thing, I think, for most players. There are things that we're going to want to lay our hands on nice and quick, but you're not gonna feel under a huge amount of pressure to go and grind out the whole thing, especially when the story is so good, and it is pretty great, describing quest and story. So yeah, I think that's astute.
Yeah.
I certainly don't like grinding. I still don't like the idea of having to do that many dailies just in order to get something which is sort of now part of the base game for me.
Hey, Skinny. Hey, Rainers. Welcome in.
Heyo.
That is perfect timing. We can just get his thoughts on the grind that we've still got coming. So no changes to the grind situation. And yeah, last week we were putting air quotes around it and calling it the chase. This week we're just calling it the grind.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the follows, everyone. Welcome in. We're just going through the patch notes. The chase, lol. Yeah. Well,
that's the word that they use, and it's justified in that Kira Rushlit, the project lead for the whole scribing thing. It's been her baby for 3 years or whatever. She said we wanted it to be an interesting chase, not a grind. And when you put it like that, it's a great phrase. That's a great word to use. However, the way it's actually been designed, and honestly, I don't think they just had time to get a bunch of people in the studio to just go and playtest the grind.
Hey, Red Fox. Yeah.
Which perhaps they should, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did, but if they had, I don't think we would have got what we got in weeks 1 to 3. Because it's clearly an outrageous grind. Or not outrageous, but it's clearly too much. Maybe for other MMOs, it would be just another another bottle on the wall. But in ESO, which isn't super grindy, and which just has specific grind points that you often feel you need to hit, such as mythics that take a while to drop, or the anniversary, the Jubilee we just had with those damn style pages.
Yeah, solo and a jester.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
It definitely felt out of place and out of whack.
Just get locked out of the game for a couple of weeks, and you just get those. Hey, I know. Sorry.
But yeah, Skinny, if you've got any, if you're still here, we'd love to hear your summary. Otherwise, I'll just catch it on the VOD.
Yeah. Yeah. Noah. For the hardcore, scribing increases DPS for even like 2 to 5%. Oh yeah. Obviously, if people are score pushing, whatever brings a little bit more, doesn't matter what it is. Of course, they're gonna want it, but that's sort of a very, very small group of people. That's sort of the 0.1%er. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, old dog. Thanks.
No, it's there. I don't know. I'm just not that excited about it. I want to be. There just isn't a ton there for me. Ooh. Yeah.
That's interesting. That actually, without me realizing it, that is kind of exactly how I feel. I'm excited about it being added to the game, but not personally. Do you know what I mean? Like when, I don't know, like when a person who's friends with a lot of Star Wars fans, but doesn't care that much about it themselves, might be, vicariously excited about the next, the next good movie, if that ever happens, or the next season of The Mandalorian, for example. That's sort of where I'm at. I think it's cool. I'm glad that it's coming, but I do think a lot of excitement has gone off the boil for people who primarily do trials, those are the waters that we swim in typically here in Ninja Pools. We love other parts of the game as well. I think PvP might be the best selling point in ESO. Fact is, I don't do it that much. I do like an hour, a couple of hours every few weeks. That's sadly that's all I have time for.
I mean, this game getting some PvP love. I support that as well. It's just, it's sort of a shame that this was sort of for a lot of people, highly anticipated system. And yeah.
Well, the idea that it lets you do more things with just one character,
Yeah.
that's a big sell to a lot of people. I'm struggling to remember the phrases they used talk about that, but Kira did that video, or rather Zos did that video where she's literally going through different iterations of the soul burst morph and other stuff like that on camera. Like like she's doing a little build video, and she uses some phrases and terminology at the beginning which was quite revealing. I thought it was very much about play how you want, find the play style that works for you, and I want to use this type of weapon but still be able to do all these different things. You know what I mean? So like people who want to play with a sword and board, like I did when I first installed the game and first started walking around with my Argonian Nightblade and Stone Tools, beating things up with a shield. I very quickly realized this was not the way to go, but it was the first thing I tried because I remember, I guess that had been the build I used in Skyrim most recently.
Yeah, it's Kamal, the number one hype for me as a roleplay build potential. Yeah, Skinny. It was just a bit too safe and cookie cutter for me, but I'm hoping that can open up with time. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, they definitely want to. I mean, they made absolutely no secret of that. They obviously said nothing. They didn't put anything on the record, but there's some tantalizing stuff. Like what are the quotes in? I'm just going to look it up while I. You talk for a minute, Maya, and I will look this up.
Yeah, Raiden hoping that scribing will help mag blades. Jester, I'm not excited for what they have in the scribing system right now, but I like that the system is being put into the game. Gives me hope that they might beef it up and make it more interesting to me down the road. But I'm hopeless optimist. I mean, they sort of have basically said that. So, they're just getting started with it. So, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like we're kind of all on the same page. But then again, we're in danger of being in a bit of an echo chamber because we're all.
Yeah.
I don't know about everyone from Skinny's stream, but all the Ninja Pulls folks, we do trials and dungeons primarily. I know Camel is a PvP guy, but ultimately I think we view the game and enjoy the game in quite similar ways. But there are other things. Here's the quote I've got. So this is actually something Kira said to us at the day before the event at the roundtable. And I asked, am I allowed to record this? Like an interview, and they said it was cool, so I actually did it. And with no intention of doing anything with it, I just wanted it for my own reference later. But I was lucky, I got actually Kira on my roundtable and Brian Wheeler and CJ. CJ was a bit like, I should not be here. It should be the lady that works on my team who did all the VFX for the scribing. But because, he's art director, he was the one. But anyway, so Kira said, when asked, what else they're going to do we have a ton of very cool ideas of things that we could do that maybe players have been asking for? I think that we do.
Yeah.
So she's very careful. It's very political. In the manner of a politician, not quite answering the question. But, it's clear. Yeah, we know what you guys are asking for. We know what it is you want, and we'll get to that. Just need to, as Skinny has said, play it safe, make sure it works. It's not going to fuck up this game and ruin everyone's 10th anniversary. So yeah, I think that's a good call. That it is they're playing the cards a little bit close to the chest there.
Yeah, and Days went exactly what we've been saying. Scribing is for DPS, so it doesn't seem like it's even worth it. But for supports, it does open up, a lot more variety and option. It does look cool. Yeah,
and it's going to be fun as hell. Like Rune of Displacement. I wish I had that on every class. Just I don't use it that often actually, even in solo arenas. But when I do use it, it makes me smile almost every time it goes off. Yoink. And so having little things like that we can all have access to if we want,
that's
and
awesome.
in a variety of ways that we won't need a specific weapon or skill slotted in order to do it. I really dig that. That's pretty cool. And I've got to say, companions, Tales of Tribute, other than arguably Mythics, I think this is the coolest and definitely biggest, most impactful system ever added.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah.
A lot of people probably love, and except for housing, But in fact, even more than housing, because a lot of people don't do housing at all.
Silly people.
Yeah, it feels wrong to compare them in any way, but since that thing where we got the Warden, then we got the Psijic Skullline, then we got the Necro, and then after that, everyone was expecting more class every 2 years. In the end, we had to wait 4, but then we started getting systems every year.
Yeah.
Instead, like compared to Tales of Tribute, this is a huge win. So let's keep that in mind as well.
Yes, Skinny Sing agree. There are definitely aspects of it that I'm happy to see introduced. We people don't want to do housing. I know, right? Increase the slot size by 500% and I will jump back into housing. Yeah, having a little... That would be cool. Yeah. I was just looking, there's a comment on Necromancers. Hey, Span, hello. Boy, this is better than... Yeah, I've never even done the intro quest, the cards. And, yeah. About Necros, I mean, in our guild, people can bring whatever they want to pretty much any content that we do. As long as they know how to wield it, we're good. And Necros are, they're not the meta class, but they're in a pretty good place right now. There's a great video that somebody made, I think Khan, about Necro specifically. I was wondering, what would be a good alternative to Reliquin Kilt on the Mag DK for a dungeon content? That's a...
you kind of want to have a suite of mythics. Like usually, these days, before Velothi Urmage Amulet was added with Necrom, it tended to be you'd have the Kilt for situations where you knew you could use it, but for situations where you were in doubt or you knew ain't gonna work, Sunshine, then it would be Death Dealer's Fate, especially if the extra survivability is good, something like Prior Theoric, Hard Mode. There's some big hits that can come out of nowhere and almost kill you, and then, or indeed kill you completely. And if you have Death Dealers and it's, full stacks, it can really save your ass and add quite a bit of damage. So that was a good one. Sea Serpent's Coil, obviously, if you talk to the healer and they ditch SPC and it's a situation where you're taking enough damage and getting enough heals. But honestly, I don't think you need to worry about that so much anymore. Skinny, feel free to interject, or anyone else if they disagree, but I feel like you can get away with, unless you're score pushing or something like that, just have the Urmage for trash and for situations where the Kilt isn't good.
Velothi is just too good. Yeah, I'm talking PvE spiders for Necro, and yeah, scribing for PvP. There's definitely talk of some fun combinations. So yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah. PvP. It's much more of an open book, and honestly, it's not. We're not the ones who are best equipped to read it. Let's put it that way. Also, we've just been too busy. I haven't even taken a step into PvP on this PTS cycle, and I typically don't. Usually, it's if I do, it's to help one of my other friends with a theory they've got, and they'll say, make this build or a tanky build, and I'll duel you, and I'll see if I can kill you with this, or if you can survive, or whatever. So that's usually the extent of it, and they'll share they'll share their findings and opinions. But we're just not. We recognize our advice on the PvE side is pretty good because we actually do these things and we see the results and to an extent know what we're talking about, right? But for PvP, I don't want to make that pretense. That'd be wrong of me to do that. But going back to that question about Reliquin and Kilt, as for Reliquin replacements, if you're not already wearing a light set, Word of the Depths is actually pretty good. But you just have to bear in mind all of their pros and cons, right? So Word of the Depths has that AoE proc. If you only need single target damage, obviously it's not as, you won't get as much out of it. And if you're already wearing a light set like Rune Carver or whatever, then you probably don't want to be in too light. That's no good. Riptide is obviously the best. I'm doing air quotes right now because it is the best. But some people don't enjoy having to keep their stam low all the time. They don't like that minigame. Or there are times when you just can't do it. You need max health food, or your healer isn't able to just keep you topped up as easily, or whatever it is. So there's Ansel if you just want an easy time of it and don't mind your damage being a little bit lower. Ansel, that's the trade-off with that set. It's good. It's got Minor Slayer. It's got what you need. But it just isn't as strong as these other sets that require you to do something
obviously. An easier job should have lower pay. That's a terrible example because the real world don't work like that at all. But you get what I'm saying. The logic is there. So sadly, I wouldn't want to give you just a straight up this mythic and this minus layer set, but any of the ones that I mentioned.
Nice one, thank you.
I hope that's helpful.
Yeah, it's funny. A couple of people are mentioning the keeping PvE and PvP separate is just so hard because then balancing it, it's I sort of understand that they want to keep it separate because it just makes things. It just makes it a bit more unique, I guess. A bit different. But then it's very difficult to. I mean, we have done this so many times on stream, like people coming up with ideas. Well, if they do this and if they do that, then it's going to be.
It's fun to daydream about these things.
Yeah. But it's very difficult when things have to work, when skills have to work in such different scenarios. Not easy.
That's a good point. If I ever got the chance to chat with, I suppose I could have asked Wheeler this. I spoke to him for quite a while, and it didn't even occur to me. But if I were ever to meet Gilliam the Rogue, for example, I would love to meet that guy. I think he was a Nightblade main back in the day. He was a content creator for ESO in its early years before Zos hired him, and he's not lead combat designer. That's Wheeler, but he's like senior combat designer, and he's the guy who writes a lot of the combat changes that we see in the patch notes. And you can tell it's him because he starts with "greetings" with an exclamation mark. That was like his hi. His YouTube greeting was literally "greetings" like that. A bit of a dude. Anyway, I digress. So other than being starstruck by him and all the rest of it, I would say, what is the deal with keeping them joined to the hip like that, the PvE and PvP? Because there are so many problems you make so much harder for yourselves to solve by staying true to that mantra. And is it just a philosophical design choice that was made early on, and they want to stick to it? Or is there a deeper reason why they remain so committed to it? So I don't have the answer, sorry. It's just a thing I've thought about quite a bit. What is the explanation for that? Because, sometimes they really tie themselves in knots. Nightblade for the last 18 months has been a great example. It's either been, I exaggerate, but it's been like in a terrible spot in one or the other at all, almost at any given moment, because they haven't been able to fix one without like completely going crazy in the other side of things.
Yeah, I know my vote is on code being a spaghetti and too scared to touch it. I think there's got to be some sort of, they set out this game when they said, when they were sort of getting going, that they decided, no, we're going to keep it separate, whether that's for making it, I don't know, cooler, or just that's sort of the, that's how the world would work. I don't know, but there's got to be something, right? Like that.
It feels like one of those weird things where like I don't know, there's like a dress code at a place of work or a restaurant or something. You know what I mean? Where they just have this fucking arbitrary dress code that somebody decided on once upon a time because it sort of made sense, but it can also get in the way. I'm sure I could come up with a better metaphor than that, but yeah, that's sort of how I look at it. It keeps getting in the way, so there's got to be a reason they're doing it. Anyway, Maya, do you want to flip the stream to something else? I realize I'm just kind of scrolling up and down this really short series of patch notes.
Yeah, I was already doing that, but then
we could hop on to PTS and just remind everyone how fucking great
let's go.
Gold Road looks. Do you want me to do that, or are you going to do it?
Yeah, you do it. It's fun.
All right. Fire it up.
Yeah, I've got the BRB screen, so you can go if you want to.
That's all right. Just stay on the patch notes if you like, and then I'll...
Fine. Feli said one of the main reasons they won't buff Warden or Blade for PvE is because they are already extremely strong in PvP. Yeah, we've sort of often talked about that, like Nightblade tank was a big thing for a while in PvE, but then suddenly the heal got nerfed. And, well, because it was OP in PvP. Yeah, I mean, they didn't come out and say it, so I'm not stating facts here, but that seemed to be the conclusion. There are still ways to buff classes for PvE that won't really ruin PvP, Yeah.
Yeah, there are clever workarounds, like
Hey,
the one
chinchilla.
that they've given, like the one that they've given the warden in this patch cycle. You know, the netch. That if you're not getting, if anytime it doesn't purge a thing, it gives you a damage boost.
The original reason is because they wanted players to be able to seamlessly transition from PvE to PvP early in the game, especially around IC. There were less PvEers or PvPers, and there were more of just players who did both. Is that Malzen? Is that something like a statement?
I'm sure that's
or?
exactly it.
But yeah, that sounds.
That's got to be the reason. It's just why is that not a thing that they will ever abandon? Because all you need to do is change the values. You don't have to change anything else on the tooltip. But you could just make whip hit a little harder, you know, things like that. And we've got battle spirit already, so yeah, it's just it's an interesting one. But no, you're absolutely right and very well put.
Yeah,
nice and succinct.
But I was sort of wondering if that's something that they sort of said recently, or is that just something they set out with? Because yeah, I'd be curious to ask. Like, hey, I get it, that's where it started, but yeah, why stick with it?
I'm gonna kill and restart my stream. I might also reset the Discord channel we're in.
Okay.
Because you went a little bit roboty a minute ago there.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. No. Sorry. Ah. Oh my. All right. Elden Ring PvP and PvE is actually balanced separately. Yeah. It's essentially seamless between the two. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of you only have to play other live service games to notice that this is a thing that it's not unique to ZOS, but you know, it's a choice. It's not like an industry-wide standard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really nice. Is that hey Nostu, is that talking Elden Ring? Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. But yeah. Okay. No.
And for some reason, I'm in Leowin.
Why are you
What?
layering? I'm gonna flip you.
Because you were claiming you didn't know what the Outlaw's Refuge looked like.
Oh yeah. I
and I was just reminding you.
I wasn't claiming. I was just remembering. Maybe I completely
remembering that
separate
you didn't
skill-wise.
remember.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, as far as I understand, it's fairly unique to what ESO's doing with PvP sort of thing.
Seriously, I don't have any way shrines.
But
how
do you have?
Oh, for goodness sake!
You need to do a template.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be right back.
Ah, right. Mm-hmm. I was like,
I literally just read that.
Purchase, yeah.
Who should I delete?
Oh no! Oh no! And you're definitely on PTS, right? Ah.
I'm on PTS. I mean, look, it says Gold Road right now. Let's delete this guy.
No! How can you do it? No! No!
All right. Who gets the chop then?
What
Come
a cutie guy.
She's no one touches the stand blade, mag blade, tank blade,
cute.
arcanist. Everyone hates the arcanist, right? We can delete one of these. There we go. Warden tank, Stamden, Magden, Warden healer. That's the only class I have 4 of, by the way.
Wardens?
Don't know why. Yeah, 4 wardens. We've got a Sork tank, Mag Sork, Stam Sork, Mag Crow, Stam Crow, Tank Crow. Templar, Stamplar, Magplar.
Just get rid of your Templar.
Mag DK, Stam DK, Tank.
No, Carnifex. Get rid of Carnifex.
Really?
It's just PTS. It's really horrible, though. I really hate doing that on PTS. I need to create space. Like, no. Oh, he's a little cutie pie.
You couldn't go for IR Wood Elf.
But then it's funnier. I got wood elf. I don't know. I'm surprised it was available. Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's so stupid that no one wants it. Anyway, go. Just a reminder of how awesome it looks around here.
Hey, Geralt. Yeah, it's
Ooh.
well, it's been a 10-year long mission, so yeah, and the mission is still ongoing.
We've been here like 1.5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Weeks ago, yeah. But I didn't notice it being this pretty.
I like this. I have 3 wardens on live. They are too fun to not have multiple. Well, I've got a tank. I've got a DD. I've
Same.
got 2
yeah.
healers. Because there was
2 healers?
Well, it was. I had 1 for PvE, 1 for PvP. I just wanted to separate
Right.
that years ago before the. But I can't delete them now.
We have a guest. What's up, Ted?
I don't know how much longer they can support ESO, but
Ted.
gosh, I hope it's at least another 4 years. Who's they? I mean, it's a 10-year-old game, and considering they were just talking about how much it makes, yeah.
Should we give Teddy a treat? He's
What
he's
did you log into like Law and Order or something? Because like the achievement sound is just playing on repeat.
yeah, sorry about that.
All right, yeah, I've got it muted. Actually,
It's like the intro to the Morrowind game, just on a loop.
Oh, that would be great.
Oh, man.
Just to make a video like 10 minutes and saying like it's the Morrowind theme on repeat, and it's just the opening percussion bit. It just never really evolves into the actual theme.
by the way, guys, did you notice we've got new rewards that you can, stuff you can do with Crux on our channel?
I did notice someone paying for a
Chewbacca,
Wookiee
that was me.
impression.
Well, the game is 10 years old and the engine is very old. A lot of live service games don't make it past 10 years without making a sequel or upgrading the engine like Fortnite. Then again, WoW's doing fine. Yeah. I mean, from what we can see, what's been going on, it doesn't look like ESO's going anywhere anytime soon. So, yeah.
And an old engine doesn't really say much necessarily.
Yeah, it's rare that games get an engine upgrade, isn't it? It's like the ultimate. You've made it if you get to upgrade the engine.
Yeah.
But I think this is crystal ball stuff. But they have talked about how much money they've made. $2 billion this game has made. We don't know how much of that is game purchases and expansion purchases, and
It's 99% crown crates.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We know a hefty chunk of it is going to be the Crown Store. But and when I say a hefty chunk, I mean like 30% would be an enormous chunk.
Mhm.
But we just
But is
don't know.
$2 billion like a large amount for games?
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I have
It's
no
a lot.
idea.
It's a lot. People were genuinely surprised by his speech at GDC.
I mean, articles were written just about that. Like, that's a
Oh,
lot of
God,
cash.
Check out the dude on the battlements. That's so cool. Oh man, I wish you could go up there.
The flags, I'm pretty sure the first day we came here, they weren't moving. A couple of them.
These?
No, not those. The ones in the wind. There was the one on top of the... Yeah. Don't you remember? Because or was it the trailer even? Like when we got sent like the B-roll and stuff, and we were looking
Yeah.
around.
Promo footage.
Yeah, it was
they
the
hadn't.
promo footage, so it hadn't even... Yeah. Because we were thinking, hang on, they're not moving. That's something they introduced in High Isle, so that would be crazy not to have it here, right? Yeah, right.
It's particularly.
Yeah, that was the
nice.
High Isle feature.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I call these
People say
things-
it's Tales of Tribute, but it's actually the flags.
yeah. Yeah, it was a big part of High Isle, and boy, was it worth it.
Yeah, that's a
Great.
lot, right? That's quite a. It was cool that they also talked about that. I think the opening sort of speech at Amsterdam, they said, "Well, we don't really make a big deal. We're not like flashy devs, but hey, we've done a good job." And I think, yeah, they have. Yeah, that's a nice little. Well, look, Ma, this is how much we made.
Yeah, for a project that in many ways would never have happened, but for the repeated insistence by one man who had the decision-making power. This is Robert Altman, the CEO of ZeniMax, or the chairman, I guess. I think he was CEO at the time, and he died a couple of years ago. But so many stories have become much clearer now that he, for whatever reason, I'm sure it was the financials of it, the chemistry of it as well. He wasn't like a gamer or anything like that, but he really, he was like, he was to ESO what Bobby Shea was to that Lord of the Rings trilogy, when Peter Jackson was going around pitching it, and everyone said, yeah, we're interested. Could you make it into a single movie? That'd be great. And they're like, no, we can't do that. We won't do that. And the story goes, I think, that he was just starting to consider buckling and turning it into one movie. And then they had this meeting with New Line, and Bobby Shea was like, so 2 movies, why? And he thought, oh, for fuck's sake, this again. And the guy said, it's obviously 3 movies.
Yes!
It seemed like Robert Altman was very much like that. Rich Lambert, and Rich wasn't like super senior at the time, but he was there, and Matt Firewall, and Pete Hines. I don't know. I'd be interested to know how much Todd Howard had to do with those early discussions, because The Elder Scrolls is very much under his wing, obviously. But it was the faith of him in the project repeatedly that allowed it to happen in the first place. So it is kind of cool that it's gone on to be such a big success, like a low key success. You don't see it written about in the press very often, but it's just there, quietly chugging away, making some of the best content wise. We complain about the server and the balance and stuff like that, the performance. But let's face it, the story content, the art direction, all of this year after year is industry leading good, especially when you consider the constraints of the engine. And that's not me fanboying. I genuinely think that's true. There's no game I criticize more than this one. But yeah,
I just keep thinking of the furnishings we're gonna get.
Yeah, and the playset for this zone is particularly fun. I mean, they're always great, but they really went big on the whole medieval France thing, and yeah, I feel like it pays off. But
The new furnishings are exciting. Yes.
the other thing I was going to say with regard to, because the $2 billion thing, like that's
We get a shovel.
that's an important part of the picture. But let's
The
face
shovel?
it, the $2 billion thing. It's a big deal, but like it's not the thing that gamers tend to give a shit about.
Yeah, no,
What the hell is-
it's crazy that it's 2024 and newer MMOs still haven't figured out how to pull off the mega server idea that Zos has done with ESO. Yeah, that was it was actually really fun watching all sorts of interviews and everything. Just the fact that there was so much that they did new. Obviously, things like there was not going to be any voiceovers in the game to start with, stuff like that, like major things that you think, how could you do a game without it? Well, 10 years ago, it wasn't like, well, it wasn't a thing. So yeah, that's why production was delayed. It's really cool to know that. But a lot of things like that, like the mega servers and sort of the structure of things, were also just not done. So yeah. The shovel is important. I think so. And a grape stomping emote.
Well, we already have the wine press from Eleanor,
Yes.
so that would fit right in.
Does this look like? Oh no, not anymore. I was gonna say, does that look like promo footage, Maya?
It did, yeah.
For a moment there.
I was amazed. For a moment there, I was like, whoa.
One of the more important things I think for the players is to see a system like scribing is not something that you add to the game in its dying moments or in desperation to try and revive interest. I mean, who knows? But it doesn't look like either of those things, you know?
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It's incredibly ambitious, and that's why it is a little underwhelming to some of us that it's arriving in a form that, like, the system is very cool, but the implementation that we are going to get out of it day one is not like that exciting.
Yeah.
but that's because of its enormous potential, like down the line. And that's why I also think it's really important that they get the bloody grind or the chase. They get that right. They have to get that right because it's a system that's only going to grow. It's definitely not going to stop here. Look how much Tales of Tribute has grown. Do we have twice as many decks now, 2 years after launch?
Literally no idea.
I think we had 4 at launch. I think we have 8 now. Or we're about to get the 8th.
I also like that the visuals are so nice in the game, that the gameplay is as good as, the game promos. Yeah. Yeah,
The
that's...
camera work in the game promos, though,
Yeah.
triggers me a little bit because I do a lot of like
Mhm.
I really make an effort with the shots in our videos to make them look as beautiful as possible, and it's a thing that is totally unnecessary. I probably shouldn't waste my time on it, but yeah, I like it. And there are just things they do in those
It would be
promos
amazing to have access to that, yeah.
that would be incredible.
The emu just running past. No! Well, it's not an emu, but whatever it is.
It's an emote.
You're an emote.
What's going on here then?
It's a crab party. Well, it is.
You guys, I got crabs.
Oh, crab rave.
The infinite zoom mod can help with getting some cinematic shots.
Yeah, it's ultimately stuff that is just not possible to do in this in the game. No mod can do it, sadly. But there are mods that can change camera settings rapidly at like the click of one button. I did play around with one of those, but ultimately I didn't feel like I needed it.
Get it back.
I mean, the God mode flybys. Hang on, that's not a mod, right? But yeah, I mean, can't you do get some spectacular shots of the game? It's just, those sort of where you can navigate the camera through stuff. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
One thing that would be very nice, actually, which I
Exactly.
would think
Yeah. Little Fox. Yeah, that's exactly what.
it ought to be possible with a mod is to give you like a siege weapon level zoom out, so that the game looks like an RTS. But then you can see how in trials that would be unfair for console players. You know, if a raid lead can do that or something, but it wouldn't really benefit you as a player. It would just benefit you from a visibility and standpoint. But yeah,
It's triggering
Anyway.
me that you just rode by the water hyacinth. Meh. Yeah,
is that a sleeping dreg? That's cute.
I'm sleeping. I'm snoozing. Aww.
Oh fuck!
No, I'm not asleep anymore. Let's stay. It helps sort of with being claustrophobic. That's cool. Oh,
Oh, shit! I'm gonna die.
can you literally not do anything because you just grabbed a character to ride around? Yeah, take that. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, I'm just sightseeing.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, who's has anyone in chat? Have you guys been to PTS? Have you tried the new trial yet? Oh,
What the hell is that guy doing here? I thought they were High Isle only, and Galen.
I want to say we've seen them, but I'm probably wrong.
Come on.
You're gonna die. Haven't had Dayhawk. I was at PTS last week, speed running the questline. Oh, nice. Yeah, I had a look at the Ithalia. Hello, saying just yeah. I'm too busy with furniture my new house. Yeah, that's for a split second I was like, that's not the TED, is it? No. Oh, that looks fun.
We actually fought this boss, didn't we, with
Yeah.
Nylandia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did all the bosses and everything. That was really fun.
Can you hear him?
Not the last one, no. That's the server my game open up lol. Yeah, I keep getting that as well. And then you're like, hang on, where's my character? No, panic mode. Oh, it's fine. It's PTS. It's fine. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to the new house in the vineyard. Blah, blah, blah. I was trying to think of what the name was, but I can't remember. Vineyard. Super excited about that one. That's just such a lovely house. But hey, we get a free house this month. Isn't that awesome?
Yeah, that's cool.
No access to PTS. Fair enough.
What's your read on that? We never really talked about that, Maya, with the free house. Is it just? Do you think it's just because of the snafu with the launch and everything? Like it wasn't officially related to that, but I think that's what it was.
I mean, they keep talking about housing. There is a housing event on right now. There is obviously a big housing update coming Q3, which we know nothing about other than that it's awesome.
Yeah, and if there are new players, they will know how many players they've got who don't own a house or a big house. Giving away a cool new one is a great way to get people playing around, tinkering with that system. That's probably more to do with what it is, yeah.
And exactly what Lil Fox is saying. All the furnishings are on sale, exactly. And well, they did say when they announced it that there's a hint they're sort of hinting at what's coming or something exciting. They don't say specifically the update, but I'm guessing that's what that is. And like, can you spot it? And we were around trying to see it. We had some ideas, we had some thoughts, but yeah, it's a full-size house too. Yeah, so yeah, it's a big house. It's a really fun house as well. But yeah, I think a lot of people wondered about it, because well, obviously Khan and I got locked out of our accounts for nearly 2 weeks, and quite a few others as well. So no, there's a bear.
There's a bear up there. I was gonna say.
But yeah, there is a lot of housing going on at the moment. So
what's he doing?
I do wonder if it's related to Skaven in Sunforge in Hammerfell. The house is directly north of the city. Well, that's the thing. That's what Khan was saying. Could it be, something like maybe an expansion for next year, a little hint of that or something? Because, I mean, they've got to know what's coming. But I was wondering if it's more of a suggestion on the housing updates coming. So there's going to be some new cool stuff.
Yeah, that was my thought, that it was something related
That's
to...
the bear from the movie with the white powder. Plus
yeah, that was my thought, that it might be related to the next
that
we're getting.
Plus all the new Redguard furnishings that are not in the game yet, but are in the furnishing listings. But yeah, they said something specifically that the new house hints at something to come.
Yeah, but you're almost certainly right, Maya, that it relates more to the housing update.
I'd assume so, yeah.
What did I even make? Oh, I made a Nightblade. Who knew?
Yeah, I did that the other day. I was like, what is this even? That's what we were saying, yeah, the sort of the animal encounters, yeah. It's like they sort of... But they didn't build it up, but obviously the secrecy, because they're not going to tell us what the update is yet. So, I'm expecting something kind of big. That you can have wild animals come into your house. Yeah. Animal encounter would be amazing. Yeah, because you can't really interact with them, but it could be a little hint at that. And it's sort of little scenes in the house, so...
Yeah, that's the best we could do in terms of...
So we couldn't find anything else. Dogs playing with each other, cats defending their territory as cats do. Yeah, exactly. And they're bringing house guests. There's only a certain amount of things you can put into your house. So it'd be really cool if you could just sort of set, hey, any wildlife that is not dangerous, perhaps, can roam in my house.
if anyone's curious. That's where I am currently. If anyone hasn't seen it, you know what? I'm just going to ride to the northern part of the map where the weather is at its most ridiculous, shall we say.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got 2 weeks left on PTS. There's quite a bit left for us to discover and play around with in terms of scribing. We've had a really thorough look at the new zone. I do want to talk to Pups again about the trial. He was saying how he's run it, God, goodness knows how many, 30 times maybe, something like that. And he's not, he's not got everything down pat, but...
It's actually 3 weeks still left of PTS.
Is it 3?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So is that another... That's another... I've never seen a troll sitting like that before.
Actually, that's a really good point. There is a lot of...
So a lot of new animations, especially sleeping ones.
Yeah, there was... I've got some screenshots of, I think it was a troll as well, just doing silly stuff. Hey, Hyperchris. Hey, Schnacks. Yeah, I want to have a raid dummy that runs around. That would be brilliant. Just have to chase it. I want to kill you. But yeah, there's been a lot of, you're absolutely right, animation for sort of wildlife. And that would be so cool for the houses if you could just, as Lil Fox said, being actually able to play with your pets. Welcome back.
Simple.
Or sort of program it like,
yeah,
play with your pets. Have wildlife come in, fly in, have birds. I don't know. Whoa, that's fun.
That's new, right?
Yeah.
That's not...
Yeah, all the stuff. Yeah, all the ogres dancing. Yeah, or just being silly. There's so much. There has been so much fun animation when you start looking around the world. That's brilliant. That's so cute.
Yeah, I think the first time Okan also realized that the bears in High Isle just scratch their back on a... What was it? What's it called? A Spriggan?
That's in Blackwood. I think that was added in High Isle, that they scratch their backs against the trees, like Baloo in the Jungle Book. In fact, was that one just that? No. But yeah, the polar bears in Rothgard, no, it's Western Skyrim, also had a like an Eeyore sort of sit animation that they would do, where they would sit on their back legs, or their back legs stretched out in front of them, like a kid in play school.
Oh, yeah,
or
right.
Eeyore, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they've added quite a few of these over the years, and yeah, there is some environment artist placed one of these bear enemies in Blackwood on the way to somewhere. It's somewhere like here.
But it's actually scratching on a...
Yeah, and it's scratching, it's rubbing its back up against the Spriggan, who's just standing there taking it.
Oh, right.
Oh, let me finally pet all of the good boys and cats. I want to play fetch with the dog and play with the string with the cats. Oh, that'd be so fun. But yeah, is that sort of enough for for a housing update? Yeah, it's got to be sort of a...
No. I think if that is it, it'll be more.
Yeah, exactly.
But
yeah, definitely curious. But I'm also really curious about Q4 and the PvP update, because this PvP in this game definitely needs some love. So I'm really, really excited to see that it's getting it. It's all we know that it's not Cyrodiil related. Hey, Phoenix Firex, hello.
That it's not Cyrodiil. You keep saying that it's not Cyrodiil related. It's not Cyrodiil.
Right.
That's a very minor distinction, but it could be Cyrodiil related. But it's not.
I'm pretty sure
it's
those are the words they use. But okay.
No. It's not Cyrodiil.
Okay.
So it's not the open world PvP thing.
Right.
Leading theory, as far as I can tell right now, but it's by no means the most likely, but the one that most people seem to think is coming, is a fourth PvP mode. I mean, if you count Tales of Tribute as PvP, then 5. Or dueling, I guess, 6. So currently we've got Cyrodiil, Imperial City, Battlegrounds. So an additional thing like that.
Right, so we
But
know that it's not
those,
Cyrodiil.
Yeah.
PvP with companions? Can you not PvP with them at the moment? But again, that would not be... I don't feel like that would be a big enough update. Also, I mean, if you can do PvP with them, then you can take them into Cyrodiil, and I guess if that's not... Yeah, I'm curious, yeah. I don't know, I've only just unlocked a companion, and that's just because of the voice actor. Yeah. Hoping for a switch up with Trials and Dungeons. We've been doing this 3 bosses, 3 hard modes for like 6 years now. Things are getting a bit stale, even with how well designed the bosses have been recently. I don't really have an issue with the hard modes, but yeah, like for trials, I would love another short trial like VAS and VCR because they're so fun. I would like to do IA with 4 people. Yeah, I don't see that necessarily I mean, I got the impression last year when they announced it in January that it was going to be an endless dungeon. Yeah, that's a real meow, yeah. That's our Ted. That's the computer Ted. Almost. Take me. Oh yes, that's. Oh. Oh my good lord. Yeah, I would love a short trial. The dungeons, I don't really mind because I don't know. But gee. Anyway. Achievement rewards are terrible. I'm very tired of getting face markings for trial hard modes. Also miss getting dungeon trifecta rewards. Yeah. No more skins or personalities. Yeah, we've talked about that quite a few times actually. That
is one I personally agree with very enthusiastically, but I wouldn't hold my breath. I don't think they're going to do that.
Yeah.
I love it if they did, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love a short trial. That one's fun. But it's funny, they did 2 in a row. They're awesome. Like, yeah, they're such good trials. But, people are like, oh, come on, stop giving us short trials. So they stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when they did Sunspire, they specifically said, we've had feedback saying that people really love more of Locage was like the nail on the head. So Halls of Fabrication, yeah, bit long. But these 2 new ones, Asylum and Cloud Rest, we'd rather have something like more of Locage. Again, please.
Yeah. Yeah, getting
That was a long time ago.
Being able to get the poly for harming the hard modes. I mean, you do harm them. Farming the hard mode. Yeah, that's really fun.
Harming the farm modes.
I know. What?
Actually, I think it was back in... Was it Blackwood or in the run-up to High Isle? Skinny actually made a video about the rewards. Remember that, Maya?
Well, that's the first time I've heard that. Holy cow, that was awesome. Minion Banana. It's what's the song? Oh, brain is not functioning. Sing it again, Khan. Yeah, that was Khan singing, obviously. Anyway.
Singing? What are you talking about?
It's just blurb. Sing it. Somebody redeemed a Sergio redeemed a Minion Banana song. So just played.
Minion Banana?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
I'm so lost right now. I didn't hear it.
Well, if
it's not about add-ons.
Yeah, you're not watching the stream.
Exactly. You have to explain it to me later.
Yeah.
But it wasn't actually me singing.
No.
No.
Khan singing about a minion banana.
There's another new one, I'm sure. I don't remember the well was doing this before. There's one up in one of the delves is basically a castle. It's very cool, and there are a bunch
Look at it.
there are a bunch of soldiers hanging
That's
out on the
cute.
ramparts. And
Where's
there's one
that?
Khajiit. This is just somewhere in the northwest weald. West weald. And there's like a Khajiit in heavy armor just leaning against a tree, and at his feet is one of these things, and he keeps rolling it over. And the way they've placed it is so that when it rolls back and looks, it sort of looks at him. Oh, come on, do it again so we can see. There we go.
It's
So when it
Ethan.
does
Hello. Aww.
Sort of looks up at him.
Oh my, good luck. You can do the country roads thing now, Maya.
Alright, so marshmallow attack. I've got my marshmallow ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, as I said, I don't have any of the dwarven crystal mechanisms, I'm afraid. Alright. Later, Anno! Alright, fine. I'm gonna do that song and attempt to sing it with a big marshmallow, because that's the challenge. Where is that thing?
How are my atmospheric shots here? just
Yes, pretty good.
kind of doing nonsense while walking around.
That's just jingle bells, Maya.
The things we do for clicks, honestly.
That's just horrible, Dayhawk. Click me, baby, one more time. Ah, marshmallows.
I
Cool.
bet you anything that is a mobile game.
Night, mostly.
They mostly come at night. Mostly. That's another one from Blurb. And the cantina, yep. All right. Oh, Teddy, hello. Origin Cake, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. Was it the marshmallow attack that convinced you to follow this channel? Or was it despite of that?
Obviously.
Either
Yeah.
way, welcome. Oh my goodness, he thought the marshmallow was treats. I follow food. Well, we talk a lot of food on this channel because, well, I'm a professional chef as well as a content creator. So, and I like food. Nom nom. Teddy, it's
Who
not a
doesn't?
treat, it's a marshmallow. Well, some people just, food is fuel and that's about it. But yeah,
Fair,
for me,
that's
it's
fair.
like, yeah, all the foods. Gimme. No, that wasn't a treat, guys. It's a marshmallow for me. They're both just sitting next to me, staring at me. I could go all day with pizza, chicken, and tacos. Oof. All in one. Hey, this dude. Chicken pizza taco.
Whoa, he's tall.
Oh, he is tall, yeah. Well, also, you are teeny
Oh.
tiny. You're dinky. You guys, those two look like they're really just trying hard to be cool.
On in there. You seem capable.
Why is
Would
he
you be
staring
willing
at
to
my
help me
chest?
investigate the
Dude,
situation?
my eyes are up here.
House Ravenwatch can be very generous.
There we go. Much better.
Yeah, thanks, thanks, Chris. I thought so. He does look slightly unimpressed, though.
Maybe he's taking his cue from the vampires in Twilight.
Well, that's what Little Fox is saying. He's a vampire. He's staring at your heart through your chest.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, let us know how that goes, Chris.
But here we go. The wine country.
Oh, that looks like... What's that? Hang on, what's that on the path on the left?
Dogs. Death hounds,
Oh,
specifically.
let's not say hello.
This is the Witcher tribute. You know, the...
Song!
Toussaint! Blood and wine.
Right. Mm-hmm,
It's not... it may not have nothing to do... But it struck me as a Witcher tribute immediately. You know, they're doing a very similar kind of landscape. Southern France inspired. With vineyards and all that stuff. Let's have some vampires in there.
Ooh, yes, piggy. Groom a piggy pet. Is it a pet, right? As a reward tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cute.
I missed...
Groom my piggy pet. What?
Yes, grow my piggy.
Spotted piggy.
Groom. Like what?
Groom my pig.
I see it. Well, I always read it as spoiled instead of spotted, because spoiled pig is like a, you know, it's sort of a proverbial ism.
Yeah,
right?
post it. Chris, I'll just repost it.
Shame the weather's kind of shit.
Oh, it's
when the
alright.
No, but when the sun is out, this is the part of the map which is
Yeah.
absolutely insanely golden. Like they
Ah.
almost overdid it.
No,
I think-
no. Chat, stop moving. Ah,
Check out these rabbits.
Oh baby.
Look at that.
there we go. Barbecue chicken pizza tacos. Now that sounds great. Hang on.
That's so
Hey,
weird.
all my other things we do for clicks. Thank you, Red Fox Princess. I appreciate that. Oh, those bunnies are really going for it.
Yeah.
On stream? Is that appropriate?
Oh yeah. It's 18 plus, so
Right. So yeah, the bunnies can do it, but whatever the fuck they want.
yeah, I
What is
reposted it, Chris. So
the-
yeah.
What's the name of the cartoon skunk that's always chasing the lady skunk? Oh,
What?
Pepe Le Pew, right?
What?
Isn't it Pepe Le Pew? It's, I guess it's an American
What?
thing. The two European, the other. Well, I'm also, but you guys are both.
The
right.
two
Oh,
European.
The name
yeah.
rings a bell, like totally. Like I recognize it, but I don't know what. Oh, it
Pepe Le
is.
Pew,
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
isn't that the skunk? And he's always chasing the ladies. That's just what it reminds me of. The
I think he's
Chase.
chasing a kitty, not a lady skunk. Because here is snuggling with a kitty.
right.
In the picture, I don't know.
I haven't seen it in. I'm not even sure I've ever seen. Just vaguely know what it is. Where is the all the rocky stuff? That's down here in the southwest, isn't it? I thought that was a really cool environment. Let's check that out.
Can we Slovak it out? What? Oh no, that was bad. Yeah, we checked out like the full zone, all the dungeons, all the bosses. That was really fun.
Guyshard.
Yeah, this little bit is so pretty.
pretty random, that log. That doesn't seem right at all.
Also, what is on top of there? That looks.
Someone's fishing rod and
Oh,
like
I see. But
and stuff. But that doesn't seem like it would be balanced at all.
no, no. Is it magic? I keep trying to turn the camera. That's not. That. Oh, no.
Or it's sort of weighed down by this.
Is it? No, it's not. Can you go closer to it? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. Oh, it's cute. It's somebody... Oh, no. I thought it was picnic basket. That's probably just, like, worms, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not so tasty. Unless you're a Klingon.
What's a tub to sit on and yeah. And a bucket with a
It might be a pee-pee bucket.
filleting knife in it. Why would you pee in a bucket if you're next to a river?
Well, because you don't want to pee on your fish.
Spoken like a true chef.
Yeah, don't pee on your fish. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Not only DPS tips, but also
PPS tips.
Sounds fishy, yes. PPS. Oh,
Pillager's
my God.
Profit. That's
Yeah.
what it actually is, yeah.
It's a pee-pee
But yeah,
pop.
it is a it's going to be a very cool zone. It's going to be a great release. I just the grind with scribing is something I can't quite get away from, but I'm hoping I'm overthinking it, and that in the next few weeks on PTS we can really put that to bed, or make a case for Zos to make some
Yeah.
change either after it goes live or in the coming weeks after it goes live.
Yeah.
Kind of bugs me that some of the critters, well, most of the critters, flee in terror when you get too close. Because some of them are really cool. You want to get a closer look at them.
Right. Can you go and find Namira?
You mean an incursion?
No, I mean Namira.
Amira. I thought you said Amira.
Kamira, even. I can't.
She. Oh, Kamira.
Kamira. I can't speak today.
Ah, Namira. No?
Yeah.
Ah, Navina. The way he delivers that line. What the hell do they say to him? Now, you're a creep, and this is someone whose pants you want to get into.
Yeah. I
It's
do
totally
like
that.
chasing the birds. Yeah. I chase butterflies. Cute. But yeah, as part of the... So we are raising money for Wes Johnson's Voiceapalooza. Wes Johnson as in Hermaeus Mora. And it's raising money for Alzheimer's Association. Here is the link. It's Tiltify link, so it goes straight to Alzheimer's Association. If you guys can donate, please do. Every little helps. And as part of this, since it is Voiceapalooza, he's a wonderful voice actor, and a lot of voice actors from around the world, and of course streamers and gamers come together and just raise money throughout May. It looks like it's going to be in June as well, which is pretty good fun. But yeah, so we've been every day we sort of highlight voice actor or voice actress that are in ESO. But yeah, a lot of them are in a lot of other games as well. So on Saturday, May the 4th, we were talking about several of them that are in various Star Wars. And oh my goodness, the crossovers are just incredible. And yeah, voice actors, a lot of them very, very prolific. So Kamira, I'm not going to spoil the story too much, but she's a kitty. She's the kitty cat.
I mean, you're going to have to vamp. It's going to take me a minute to get to her.
Yeah, that's
You can
fine.
hear-
I'm
you can hear
vamping.
me, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna head off, but thank you so much for the hang.
Thanks for
and
joining.
see you guys soon. Bye bye. Have fun with the
Night
stream.
night. Thank you. But yeah, she's really fun, and she's really written, I guess, with someone who likes cats and really thought about it. So like she's got these really fun comments like instead of stop pulling my leg, she'll say like stop tugging my whiskers.
Yeah.
She makes like little purring and growling noises, and it's a great voiceover by actress called Emily O'Brien. I'm just gonna pull up her. Where did it go? What
are the Brits working on this game?
There we go.
I'm pretty sure she's English, right?
Yep, English 3-time daytime Emmy nominated actress and writer. Young and the Restless. That's what she was in apparently. Cool. So that's her, and yeah, filmography. So this is movies, TV. But then we look at video games. So much. Final Fantasy. Batman, Dishonored, God of War. Yeah. And there we go. The Elder Scrolls Online. Chimera and additional voices, so I'm guessing maybe a few more kitties.
I'm just making absolutely sure I'm writing the correct place.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, she's done Starfield, I already said Final Fantasy 14, Death Stranding, she's in Dishonored. So yeah. Very, very active. Yeah, who's done Elsewhere Quest? Who has met Chimera? As I said, no spoilers. Yeah, always curious. I really enjoyed the Elsewhere Quest.
I liked it, yeah.
Yes, Red Fox Princess. Awesome. I love the kitties as well, and meeting all the different Khajiits as well. That was really fun.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think it might be an underrated expansion. They did the whole dragons thing. Whoops. Which is, you know, the temptation, the inescapable comparison was with Dragon Combat in Skyrim, and it just wasn't good. It was never going to be as good.
You also have her mini-me. Yes, the little Chimera kitty, yes. Yeah. The cat pets. Ah, so cute.
I thought she would be here. Do I need to start the Elsewhere quest first? Otherwise I can just go visit her with a different character.
Yeah, yeah. I think you have to start the quest, yeah. I think.
So she isn't in the base game at all?
I didn't think so.
Okay, that was my mistake then. Because I didn't think so either, but I must have misread something on UESP. Anyway, let's go and find her. There is a light spoiler here. I'll tell you what, I will just hide nameplates.
Yeah, there we go. New weekly endeavor is super easy. What is it? I didn't even look.
I saw that I already got it, and that's as far as it looked.
But yeah, elsewhere it's a really fun zone. I know some people are like, oh, it's just a giant litter box. It's a bit unkind. And I love the architecture. It's stunning.
You want me to keep streaming, Matt? I just realized you're letterboxing.
Yeah, it's fine.
The screen like twice with me.
That's fine. Nice daily endeavor for 50. Alright. Should have a look at them.
I think that's the furnishing one.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Look, here comes the Slayer of Kelgrantid.
Turn everything up.
All 7 of them.
We already did Casca
I told
and
you to go easy on the plum
Yeah,
branch.
Zaji's fucking
Zaji.
waste.
Five
Yeah.
Club. Come here, please.
So just listen to the rolled R's here. It's awesome.
I wish I could issue a proclamation and solve all our problems, but it doesn't work that way. For now, we celebrate. Then we must get back to work. Dragons reunifying Anequina and Palatine, re-establishing supply lines. There is so much to do. I suppose. But I will not forget what you have done for all of Elsewhere, my friend. You and Abner Tarn both. Perhaps the old battle mage deserves a statue. I will think on that when I am not dealing with the ongoing issues of state.
Oh, I love her ears. So cute.
I really love this voiceover. I'm not even sure why. I think it's because it's it's another sort of kind of crazy impression.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed these cities across the way? Can you see those in the
Yeah,
distance?
that's amazing.
I don't think I've ever spotted that before. What is that?
Me don't know.
Weird. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, but instead of feeling like a crazy impression, it is done really subtly.
Yeah.
That's when someone, the better you are at doing an impression, the less of a caricature it becomes. It acquires
Yeah.
depth and subtlety and all that stuff. And she's really like nailed this shit down. Her mastery of the character voice that she came up with is so good that she has access to probably 80% of the range she would normally have if she were just using her regular speaking voice or something close to it. And of course, I don't know that for sure, but it's the read I get of this every time. It's just a delight. I could just listen to her read the phone book, and all of these actors have amazing voices. That's part of the whole deal. But there's something particularly great about the.
Well, we talked about this. Sometimes the Khajiits can sort of sound just a little bit Eastern European, whereas that sort of, her, Raz, they're Khajiit. It's not. It's.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Raz is a good call. He's a bit more subtle as well.
Who's that kitty down there? It's a big boy. But yeah.
Yeah, he's a big fella. You can actually jump down from here.
I mean, you can jump down from anywhere, but just the one time.
No, but it's actually a pretty cool view of
It is.
Central Rocks.
And the perfect pounce.
Could you give me the name of that ship one more time in the style of Chimera?
No.
On your Czech, if anyone knows how to roll their R's, it's the Czechs.
The perfect pounce.
But yeah, you're right. A lot of the male Khajiit end up being. This one sounds a bit like stupid Bond villain.
Yeah, I hear Khajiit is a cross between French, Jamaican, and hard Scottish/Scandinavian.
Oh wow, really? I feel like a lot of the male Khajiit are sort of lovable Russian thug from Bond the movie. Yes, and then the Puss in Boots impression.
Oh, my Welsh gran rolled her ass, so I picked it up. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, yeah, I can hear the sort of the Russian too. Yeah, exactly.
But only in some of them. And
Some of
it's
them,
a funny choice, yeah. And whereas others are more obviously Spanish.
Hey, Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, that's very much the Bandera sort of
Treatment.
yeah, when this is my favorite line in Shrek 2 when she thinks that Shrek has been transformed into a cat, and the princess comes down and he goes, "Shrek?" and he's licking his balls, and he stops licking his balls for a moment, turns around and looks at her and goes, "For you, baby, I could be." And the donkey's like, "Yeah, you wish." Man, I love that so much. So good. But yeah, she just sidesteps all of that really neatly, and I don't know, I just love it. Let's have it one more time.
I wish I could issue a proclamation and solve all our problems, but it doesn't work that way. For now, we celebrate. Then we must get back to work.
Hey, Ted.
Dragons reunifying Anequina and Palatine, re-establishing supply lines. There is so much to do.
Well, Teddy's attacking your mic.
I suppose.
Yeah.
But I will not forget what you have done for all of Elsewhere, my friend. You and Abner Tarn both. Perhaps the old battle mage deserves a statue. I will think on that when I am not dealing with the ongoing issues of state.
Yeah. Hey, thanks for the follow. I love that. French, Jamaican, Scottish, Scandinavian, Russian, Spanish mix. Yep, that's Khajiit.
Yeah.
Simple.
I wonder if you gave it that to a voice actor as a note, what they would say to you. I bet Wes Johnson would just say, all at the same time? Got it. And then just get to work. But like, most would look at you in bewilderment, like, I'm sorry, what? How does that even work?
Yeah.
Can you give me an example? Would you like me to try and find her on a different character, Maya?
No, that's fine.
But yeah, she has really great lines as well. That obviously helps you give the actors
I
more
like that. Well,
work with.
would have to
Did you see
throw in
that
a lot of
ceremony?
rolled R's and an occasional purr and a catty comment.
Yeah, and I think it just hit me. It's the speed of her R rolls as well. They're much more like a purr. You know, like no, I'm not sure that any language rolls their R's so fast and with so many Indians in
Yeah.
one. I'm not sure that's a thing that really exists.
Yeah. Yeah, like the yeah, like just whenever it's sort of it's sort of
Yeah.
naturally in there, isn't it? That's sort of that's what makes her great.
But it's soft as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
Yeah.
you just get the feeling that this is a voice either she used before, coincidentally for some other project, or she spent a lot of time constructing it very
Or just
carefully.
at home, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but you hear that. You hear character actors talk about putting the voice and often the walk, if it's a movie or a TV show, that they're creating a character that's going to get a lot of screen time. That they will put it together piece by piece in rehearsals and all of that stuff way before shooting. And I wonder if you get cast as the main character in a big expansion where you have hundreds and hundreds of lines in the script that they send to you or whatever. Yeah, that's another good question. Like, how much of the script do they even get sent out? 'Cause screen actors do, but do voice actors
Well,
get
that's
that
what
much?
we watched that interview with Jennifer Hale, and she said no, this was for
Yeah.
Mass Effect. Like that's
Yeah.
kind of a big part. That's
what
the part. Yeah.
You must have some material. But I think, yeah, I'm pretty sure anecdotally it seems like they sort of show up and you get pages and pages, and if you need, or if the director, if you can even call them that, the person in the booth with the desk
Yeah.
thinks you need a bit of context for what's happening here. Okay, a big battle has just happened. You're talking to the player, you know, blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
go.
Oh, that's a sweet little fox. Aw. Yeah, I meow at the Ted, and I don't think he thinks much of it. I don't think he's impressed. Oh, yeah.
This one is not impressed.
Fair enough. Anyway, that's going to be it for today. It's been a bit of a late start and late finish. But yeah, patch notes. We'll be back tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after, and the day after for the rest of the month. So if you haven't followed, please do. Don't want to miss it. We've got some really awesome stuff coming up. ES Olympics and yeah, tons of giveaways and all sorts of things. So yeah, make sure to stick around and, you know, tune back in. We'll have an amazing start of the week, and hopefully see you guys tomorrow. And thank you, Khan.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have an awesome evening. Yeah, we will catch you. If I don't catch you tomorrow, Maya certainly will.
And
I'll be around during the week.
yeah, absolutely. And let's go and say hi to Kat. Night night.